guess the idea of a God or believing in a God is reassuring to the extreme. There has to be some kind of higher power. I feel like there has to be some kind of higher power, and so whatever you want to call it, or don't call it, just experience that there must be something outside of what we experience. Consciousness, we could see it, maybe it's developing at this point. We individually know what it is. But going back, the subject really here is that we're living, how is science changing currently? And where did it go to get here, and where do I think it's going? Before the 17th century, I call it mystical, but call it what you like. There were religions generally in Europe, but we're talking about Europe, but in other countries, there were all formulations of a god, and some kind of obedience or adherence, or a set of rules, morals or ethics based on what humans think God is. And it was quite dangerous to deviate. If you were a Catholic in Europe before 1700, it was dangerous to talk. There was no such thing as an atheist who acknowledged it, and because just what religion one chose was quite formulated, and if you were not a Catholic, you might be expelled if you're in an area where Protestants are expelled or so on. But the idea here is that there was a pretty rigid attitude toward what you could say, what you believe. And in today's time, to explain it, I would say that in today's time we talk about the law of attraction. It's been around for a while, but the idea basically is that, as with quantum physics, that you're the observer, a conscious mind looking at a material experiment or event influences that event. Just the attention of a conscious mind influences the process and outcome of an event. And so the law of attraction supposes that you can attract something into your life by visualizing or by reciting, or, in other words, if you don't want something to happen, it's better not to talk about it or say it or formulate it. Like, wow, I really hope a safe doesn't fall on my head. Well, why would you think that? Or I'm afraid of something. Like, saying you're afraid of it invites it or attracts it is a theory, okay? So I find people are fairly sensitive to what I bring up. If they don't like the way it sounds, we're still kind of populating the law of attraction in our lives, and I am influenced by it for sure. I don't talk about things I don't want to happen. I talk about things I do want to happen, and I look forward to a world where science becomes less rigid. I mean, we're still in the same position as in the past of having accepted doctrines, accepted ideas about reality, and feeling resistance to the changing whatever ideas we have. We want them to work. And in science, we're in a time that can't be described almost. The internet is mixing up all these minds, the energy of these minds in channels that you can look at, but I mean, it's happening way too fast. TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and I'm ignorant. That's all. I can just say that there's people communicating concepts over these social media that, and some people are trying to influence public opinion for sure, and other people are just amusing themselves or making a profession out of getting followers, or experimenting with ideas that they have. It's a huge, huge thing. The internet is not perceivable by one person for sure, and I'm not going to say it's out of control any more than my body's out of control. Something's controlling it, and it's not me. So science is getting its own. I think that may be why people are so worried about artificial intelligence, because the human collective unconscious does express itself. It brings certain ideas or events into human consciousness, and because we have the chakras and all that, we have survival as our main, our main influence, and then sexuality. Not going to go off on that subject, but it does affect people quite powerfully. And then personal power, whatever our confidence and self-esteem, and personal power in terms of how much energy we can generate and translate that energy into events in the material world. That's another chakra. Okay, so then there's the heart, and the heart is supposed to be another mind, but also what do I mean by another mind? I mean, actually, you can move your conscious focus to your intellect, figure out how much money you have or something, or you can move it to your heart and just and feel. And sometimes the brain of your heart is overpowered suddenly by a visual image, or something somebody says, or just a realization in the heart. It feels particularly warm and loving, and you're satisfied with yourself for some reason. So anyway, science has to grow to encompass just a more complete picture of what's going on, other than just the evidence of material reality, because the materials are all here, but the way humans manipulate them and generate or destroy them creates the material world, and it's not being done without some kind of conscious intent somewhere. There's conscious intent, and I think looking at Jung's theory of synchronicity, there's a background of conscious intent in the unconscious. The intent, of course, is to run everything and make everything work, and all the animals and plants, and make the rivers run, and the clouds rise up, and all the things we expect. But there's an intent behind the unconscious that goes back to the beginning, which relatively is infinity or eternity, as much as we can deal with that. How can science may have to answer the question, how can a finite experience be real in an infinite field without a mystery conscious point of awareness? And What is that? We're thinking about this and more later.